Good day everyone! Welcome back to my channel. This is Professor JE and this is Prof. JE Vlogs. So, again, kung makikita ninyo, naka-uniform na ako kasi next week magsisimula na po ang klase sa PATS. Yay! So, we're back. We're back for the first semester and we are so excited to see our students, no? Yun nga lang, we will be seeing them online. So, medyo kakaiba siya, no, kumpara sa mga usual natin na semesters. Pero, I believe we can pull this off and sooner or later we will be back in our own classrooms. So, for today, we will be starting another lecture series. Again, yung dalawang lecture series ko, hindi pa siya tapos. It's still ongoing, but dadagdagan natin siya ng panibagong lecture series kasi nga marami na yung nagre-request actually na gumawa pa ako ng iba't ibang klase ng lecture. So, yung iba, nasimulan ko na. So, ito sisimulan din natin to for a new series. So, for this lecture series, we will be focusing on accommodation, operations, and management. So, if you have subjects like fundamentals in lodging operations or accommodations management, hotel management, resort management, this lecture series is for you. Okay? So, dito natin itatakal lahat ng nasa industriya ng accommodation. And by the way, ito rin kasi yung aking former job, no? So, I used to work with different hotels before bago ako settle sa academe. So, for today, we will start with the first topic, which is the overview of the accommodations industry or the hotel and resorts industry here in our country. So, for today's agenda, we will be defining hotels and resorts. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng hotel? Ano ba ibig sabihin ng resort? And then we're also going to discuss the types of hotels. We also have the rating system that is being applied internationally and also here in our country. Then we will also discuss the different types of management of hotels, such as in particular with hotel management contracts and time sharing. Okay? So for our learning objectives, ito po sila. We have 7 learning objectives for this specific topic. But if I'm going to summarize it, this topic will just be focusing on the definition, the types, and the classification of hotels. Okay? So now let's proceed. So, when we talk about the hotels and resort industry or the accommodation sector of tourism and hospitality, it is a very essential part of the entire tourism process because like what we have defined tourism, diba? There are two activities being done by the tourist, or there are two primary activities being done by the tourist, and that is traveling to and staying in according to UNWTO's 1993 definition. So, when we talk about staying in the destination, it is really essential that tourists, travelers, or visitors have this accommodation or this establishments, or they have the destination should have provided well-appointed accommodations, okay, for our tourists. So, one good thing about this is when a certain tourist area or a certain tourist destination has been developed, we tend to operate or we tend to increase the supply of hotel rooms or guest rooms, and thus it provides greater economic impact to our tourism industry, and not just with the tourism industry but in the national economy as well. Apart from that, it also creates employment for both locals and foreign nationals. So it helps in the development of the economy of a certain country actually. Okay? So the term hotel came from a French word which is basically means host. So like what we always show during the time that you have checked in the hotel up to the time that you check out. Diba, nandun yung spirit of hospitality. Kasi, syempre, like how the term host is being depicted, this is someone who receives guests graciously, okay, and provides the needs and wants of their guests on to the from the time that they have from the time that they checked in up to the time that they checked out in the establishment. So now let's go to the definition of hotels according to the Department of Tourism. So it says here that hotels are full service accommodation with receptions and guest rooms. So the main requirements for a hotel is for you to have a receiving area or reception, and also there should be a guest room. Okay, so the main product of hotels is basically the guest rooms themselves. Okay, it may have different categories, but still the guest room is the main product of the hotel. Okay, and then there are other private facilities and amenities in this establishment that are expected also. So ano-ano ba ito? So basic amenities, okay, like the provision of bathroom amenities, diba? Like towels, toiletries, those are the basics. To a usual amenities inside the guest room, like mini bars, okay, bottled water, telephone, okay, television. Those are facilities actually. And then those are amenities also. And then facilities, no, yung inclusion na kung meron kayong swimming pool, gym, etc. Okay, are also expected. Okay, and then there should also be a provision for an on-site restaurant. Okay, it may be a concessionaire. When we talk about concession restaurants, these are our concession outlets. These are run by a different management who is renting inside the hotel property, or it can also be owned by the restaurant. It can also be owned by the hotel rather. Okay, so as part of their food outlets. So when we will dig deeper about it when we reach the topic of food and beverage services. Okay, we also there are also other facilities that are also expected in the hotels. So like business centers and conference rooms or function rooms. We talk about resorts. Resorts are full service accommodations also, katulad ng hotels. However, the only difference between the two is that the resorts are being located in a more relaxed and more natural environment. So it can be a beach resort, it can be a mountain resort, it can be a special interest resort. Okay, however, the purpose of these two is both to accommodate guests. Okay, resorts only focus more on the leisure type of travelers. Okay, so same amenities, same requirements. So one good example is this one. In the picture, you can see El Nido Resorts in Palawan. So now let's go to the definition of accommodations. But before we proceed with the definition of accommodation, let's understand that there are two services being done in the hospitality industry. So the first one is basically the food and beverage service, which involves syempre the catering of food and drinks to our guests or visitors. The other one is the accommodation service. The accommodation service, it includes the hotels, resorts, and other types of establishments that caters to the relaxation needs of our guests. Okay? So accommodation can be defined as a group of rooms or an entire building or establishments which someone may live or stay temporarily. Okay? So this is basically a place, or this is an important requirement for tourism, because tourists needs to find a good place to stay after a long day of tour or after a long day of visiting different spots in the destination. Okay, so thus accommodation establishment is present in every destination to provide temporary place for visitors to rest and recharge as they go through with their itinerary. Okay, there are different classifications of hotels, so I'll just give the most common and the most typical, okay, of all the classifications of hotels. So we have 7 classifications. We have the commercial hotels, the airport hotels, the bed and breakfast, suite hotels, extended stay hotels, convention hotels, and casino hotels. So let's go now with commercial hotels. So when we talk about commercial hotels, this is the most common and typical type of hotel. So the purpose of commercial hotels is to focus more with uh, the corporate market. Okay, they also have extended or diversified now with um, the new type of market, such as the staycation market or the weekender market. No, these are families or friends who stay in a hotel over the weekend to relax. Okay, um, the commercial hotels are basically located within the metropolis. They are located in the city proper para malapit siya, no, sa lahat ng establishments like malls, offices. Okay, so again, one good example of commercial hotel that you can see in the picture is Sofitel Philippine Plaza here in Pasay City. So now we proceed with the second one, which is the airport hotel. So when we talk about airport hotels, these are hotels that are malapit sa airport. Okay? So they're just located stone throw away from the airport. Kaya nga siya tinawag na airport hotel. So they cater more to the transient travelers, mga transit passengers, okay, or they also cater to airline layover. Okay, so they have the airline layover market, they have their transients, okay, mga short stays. So nandyan yan sa airport hotel. So one good example of airport hotel is this one. This is Savoy Hotel here in Newport, okay, in Newport, Pasay City. They are located obviously a street away or a highway away from Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 3. And so, yun po yung purpose niya. And then, one of the services or unique services that airport hotels are offering are the free airport shuttles. Okay, so yan yung mga kasama nila sa room rates normally. Next, we proceed with the bed and breakfast. The bed and breakfast is a simple type of accommodation, normally located, and it's a very quaint location. It's a very quaint accommodation establishment. So normally it ranges from 10 to 50 rooms. Okay, more likely to be associated with a boutique hotel. The only difference is that the boutique hotels are a full service, small scale accommodation establishments. Bed and breakfast, technically they cater for bed and breakfast. Okay, there are small establishments, and sometimes they are fancy. They are fancy enough, no? Parang ito yung nasa picture natin. This is actually one of the favorite places to stay for the honeymooners, the boutique bed and breakfast in Tagaytay City. Okay, but there are also some bed and breakfast venues. There is also bed and breakfast establishments na simple lang talaga yung itsura nila. Okay? So now let's proceed with the suite hotels. So when we talk about suite hotels, these are hotel properties that offers all guest rooms as suite rooms. Okay? So when we talk about suite rooms, this is basically a guest room type wherein there is a receiving area or a living area inside the guest room prior to the bedroom. Okay? So, nakahiwala yung bedroom sa receiving area. Okay? So, yun po, suite hotel. So, one example is Maxim's. Okay? Here in Newport City also, Pasay. Now, we go to extended stay hotels. When we talk about extended stay hotels, these are hotel properties that caters to long staying guests or LSGs. Ano ba yung mga long staying guests natin? There are different categories of long staying guests. There are weekly guests or those who stay for 7 days. There are also monthly guests, quarterly guests, and even annual guests. Okay, so those who are fun to do long staying accommodation are basically from the corporate markets. Okay, especially if they have expatriate trainers, 'di ba? Yung mga galing sa ibang bansa na mga trainers nila, dito nila hinahouse yan normally. So extended stay hotels are like a mini suites normally because they have their own kitchenette, okay? They have their own dining area sometimes, and then there's a bedroom. Okay? The only difference is that sometimes those extended stay hotels doesn't provide a separate bedroom from the living area. Okay? Parang studio type siya. Pero yung iba naman, may mga categories din naman na one bedroom siya or two bedrooms. Okay? So, yun po yung mga extended stay hotels. Okay? Next, we go now to a convention hotel. So, when we talk about convention hotels, these are hotels that, or accommodation establishments that have their own function rooms, okay, or convention centers. Okay, so there's an attached convention center beside their own hotels. So one good example is the Waterfront Hotels and Casinos in Cebu City. I used to work here as their sales account manager for I think 2012 ata yun nung nag-work ako dyan. So normally there's the property, the hotel property, and then beside that is their convention center. So their convention center can house 4,000 people. Okay, now let's go to casino hotels. So when we talk about casino hotels, these are hotel properties that has a casino inside their establishment. So one good example is Soler. Okay, so this one, Soler in Pasay also. And then ang dami niyan. Actually here sa Entertainment City, ang dami. We have Okada, we have tawag dito, we have City of Dreams, diba? Resorts World. They are actually inclined not just the focus of casino hotels, but now they are also called as IRs or the integrated resorts. Kasi meron na rin silang components ng mall, meron silang components ng lifestyle shops sa loob ng hotel nila. Okay? Now let's go to the different star ratings. There are basically 5-star ratings in the hotel rating system. So we have 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, and 5-star. So the higher the number of stars, the more sophisticated and luxurious the service it should be. Okay? Okay, so now let's proceed with the Philippine accommodation classifications and accreditation. So the Philippine hotels, okay, has to follow the rules and regulations that pertains to the accreditation of these establishments. And it is anchored under the Republic Act 9593, or also known as the Tourism Act of 2009, where it implements mandatory accreditation on primary tourism enterprises, and that includes the hotel business and or the accommodation sector. And this also creates the national tourism standards for accommodation sector. And because of this, the DOT have released its memorandum in 2012, which is called the DOT Memorandum Circular Order number 2012-02, which is also known as the Rules and Regulations to govern the accreditation of accommodation establishments, particularly the hotels, resorts, and apartment hotels. So ano nga ba itong DOT Memorandum Circular Order number 2012-02? This is basically a 7-book, 7 rules, 59-page rule handbook on how to be accredited by the Department of Tourism as a hotel, a resort, or an apartment hotel. So, just a quick overview regarding the assessment metrics that is being used in accrediting hotels. Basically, ganun din po yung ratings natin, internationally accepted rating. So, we have 5 stars. Okay? So, yung star grading natin, meron tayong total of 1,000 points. Okay? So, the accreditors will be visiting the property and look for evidences and proof of qualifications on the different ranges. If your hotel, the minimum is actually 251 points. If your hotel falls from 251 to 400 points, it's a 1-star hotel. If it's from 401 to 550, it's a 2-star hotel. If it's from 551 to 700, it's a 3-star hotel. 701 to 850 is 4-star hotel. And 851 up to 1,000 points, perfect, yun po yung 5-star hotel. And basically, they are being assessed on the different dimensions or different business areas, as what you can see here. So, they will be assessed by the accreditors on their arrival and departure. That pertains to the process of arrival and departure of the guest, and also the provision of the reception areas. Then there's the public area. When we talk about the public area, that includes the lobby, yung mga hallways, yung cleanliness niyan, at saka yung pagiging well-appointed niya. Tinitingnan nyo dyan. The bedroom, syempre, being the primary product of the hotels, tinitingnan po yan ng maigi. Bathrooms are also being inspected. Food and beverage outlets. Then we also have the lounge area if there's an applicable lounge area. Kitchen area if also applicable. Then we also have amenities. Okay, tinitingnan po nila yung mga basic amenities. And lastly is the business practice of the hotel. So they're also checking the business practice. Kung ano yung management style na ginagawa, how do they treat their employees. There's also an assessment on that. Okay? So, hanggang dito muna ang ating discussion. On my next lecture series for Accommodation Operations and Management, we will discuss the global hotelier. So, what does it make to become a global hotelier? And what are the different competencies that is being required to become a hotelier? So, if you have any questions, please don't forget to comment it down below para maliwanagan natin yung inyong mga queries. And kung meron pa kayong gustong gawin ko na lecture series in relation to tourism and hospitality, just let me know so that I can also formulate another lecture series for you. But definitely, yung mga nasimulan ko na lecture series, itutuloy lang po natin siya. Para rin po makapag-review kayo at makapag-advance study kayo, lalo na ngayong new normal at kailangan po natin na mag-aral lang mabuti. Okay? So, if you don't have any comments, if you don't have any questions, this is the end of my lecture series. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And do not forget to comment and subscribe to my channel para rin po updated kayo sa lahat ng mga vlogs, videos, and lectures na gagawin ko all throughout this semester. So, ayan, back to work na ako, no? Again, this is Professor J.E. and this is Prof. J.E. Vlogs. See you on my next episode.